Sheikh Mohammed receives the Secretary General of the GCC and discusses ways to boost stability in the region. The Vice President honours a number of young leaders at their graduation ceremony here in Dubai. And Sharjah's Executive Council demands an explanation and an end to fuel shortages at petrol stations in the Emirate. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Leonard and this is Emirates News. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, received the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council for Arab States, Dr. Abdulatif Al-Zayani, at Zabil Palace. Also present at the meeting were Their Highnesses, the Crown Prince of Dubai, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Deputy Ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Maktoum bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Chairman and Chief Executive of Emirates Airline and Group, Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum, as well as a number of other ministers and senior officials. During the meeting, Sheikh Mohammed and Dr. Al-Zayani exchanged views on the GCC's activities and the importance of joint work amongst member countries to boost peace and stability in the region. They also tackled the special GCC initiative on Yemen, aimed at supporting stability and national unity amongst the Yemeni people. Dr. Al-Zayani complimented the UAE in its role as the current chair of the GCC. Sheikh Mohammed also attended a graduation ceremony for the Mohammed bin Rashid Programme for Leadership Development in Dubai this morning. Also at the ceremony were Their Highnesses, the Dubai Crown Prince, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the Deputy Ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Maktoum bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Also in attendance were a number of other sheikhs, ministers and heads of government departments and institutions. Sheikh Mohammed honoured those present and congratulated them on their high achievement. He also urged them to continue working hard to best serve their country and its institutions. Officials at the Human Resources Department of Dubai government say the establishment of the Mohammed bin Rashid Programme for Leadership Development in 2003 was a translation of Sheikh Mohammed's vision for Dubai's rise and in particular its human and economic development. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum received a written message from the Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen. The message looked at bilateral relations between the two countries and ways of enhancing them in all fields. The letter was received by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Anwar Mohammed Gargash, as he received Cambodia's Minister of State. The Sharjah Executive Council has demanded an explanation and an end to disruptions at petrol stations around Sharjah, which have left many motorists stranded for the past 2 weeks. Most residents are coming to Dubai to fill up their tanks. Officials have not given a specific reason for the latest shortage. Enoch is one of the companies whose pumps have run dry in Sharjah. They've released a statement repeating information given to Emirates News on May the 29th, saying they're managing fuel supplies to meet the current demand, which involves a two-pronged approach of regulating the fuel distribution and upgrading selected stations. The statement continues, Enoch is working with the concerned authorities to further enhance supplies and that the upgrade process may cause temporary suspensions. We're going to go to a break now, but still to come here on Emirates News, OPEC have made the decision to keep their crude oil output levels as they are, and
most people have heard of stem cells, but what are they really? I'm Laura Markova and I'll bring you everything you need to know about stem cell technology straight after the break. Don't go away.
Welcome back. It's time for the day's business news. Let's catch up with Greg Fairley now. Greg, you've been looking at advances in the digital home, if I can say that properly.
Yes, the digital home. Well, Kimberly, it's kind of a window to the future, so we'll be bringing you that in just a moment or two. First of all, this evening, let's go to our top story. And OPEC today made the decision to keep its crude oil output levels as they are and meet again within 3 months to discuss a possible production increase. Before the meeting, several delegates had followed Saudi Arabia's lead in favouring increased output as a means to lower high oil prices and protect demand in countries facing a global slowdown. But some other OPEC members have criticised the plan, arguing that the global oil supplies are sufficient and that today's prices of between $100 to $115 a barrel are appropriate. Well, Morgan Stanley is going with UAE corporate bonds of being of strategic importance to the Emirates among its top bond picks across the Middle East. The bank's fixed income analyst, Lenka Polakova, prefers utility Dubai Electricity and Water Authority's 2015 bond, energy investment firm Abu Dhabi Energy Company's 2012 maturity, and International Petroleum Investment Company's 2016 bonds. The analysts also said that corporates with good cash flows and strategic importance will be a key investment theme for the region. These days, the technology world is full of a term that is now becoming mainstream, and that is cloud computing. This technology means for business that instead of building their own IT infrastructure to host databases or software, a third party hosts them on giant servers. This will change the way we access information and use computers and tablets now and in the future. Soft at Home has entered the UAE market by opening a new office here in Dubai. The company developed its software solutions in France in order to make the digital home a reality.
Cloud computing is a new technology that's coming that provides you access to the services on the network. What we do is we gather all the information in your home, but some of that information could also actually come from the cloud. What we do is we make sure you have a coherent experience, user experience, so that no matter where the content is, either it's on the cloud, either it's on your mobile, on your iPad, on your TV, it doesn't matter, you have a central point of access, and the operator is here to provide you that service.
Last year, Etisalat chose Soft at Home to introduce their multi-platform IPTV and video-on-demand services across the UAE. They have also taken a stake in the Soft at Home business, becoming a shareholder of the company.
Not only did we sell the technology to Etisalat, but Etisalat actually took a stake in the company, and the CEO of eVision is actually a board member of Soft at Home. So Etisalat can control the future of their technology, which is core for Etisalat.
Keeping up with the changes in technology is one of the main issues facing developers and new integrated technology solutions. Having so much information at our fingertips can leave customers dazed and confused.
I don't think consumers really realize what the extent of what they can do today. And actually, that's part of the job of an operator such as Etisalat, to educate the market into what services they want to provide. So one of the challenges for the operators today is to see how they are going to truly face the delivery of these different services to make sure the users are not overwhelmed by the richness of what they can offer.
By opening a dedicated office in Dubai, Soft at Home is getting ready to tap into the massive potential of the region, with Etisalat's operations in 18 countries across Asia, the Middle East and Africa, servicing a total population of around 1.9 billion people. UAE markets ended mixed today, with the DFM edging lower and the ADX in the capital moving up by 0.25%. Here's how Wednesday's markets and currencies ended the day. Figures from Dubai Customs show that total car and truck aftermarket trade reached over 32.4 billion dirhams last year in imports and re-exports. Today was the second day of Automechanica Middle East 2011, currently running at the Dubai International Convention and Exhibition Centre. This figure marks an 11% increase since last year, indicating clear growth in the sector. A large part of this growth is down to the growth in vehicle ownership and the benefits of regular servicing and replacement of parts. Re-exports out of the UAE to the wider region are mostly on their way to Iran, Iraq, Russia, Finland and Pakistan. For now, that is the latest finance and business, keeping you up to date. Kimberly, back to you.
Thanks.
And do you make sure you have your car in tip-top shape all the time?
Well, my brother always complains. He says I take no notice of my car whatsoever. I just get in it and drive.
Think of safety in the future,
Okay,
because it's always
thank
good to do that. Okay.
Now, most of us have heard of stem cells and perhaps even the controversy that surrounds them. Although they are often discussed, not many people fully understand them. Well, Laura Markova lent her face to science to help us get a better understanding of just what these cells can do.
Our bodies are made up of trillions of cells. Most have specific functions and can only reproduce as that same kind of cell. Since billions of them die naturally every day, they need to be replaced. Enter the stem cells. Found all over the body, these non-specialized cells can reproduce indefinitely and take on the properties of any other cell. So, adult stem cells can be extracted from a person's own body and stimulated to become part of an organ that needs healing.
They've been used for leukemias, bone cancers. They can also be used for cartilage problems, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis.
But while some systems in our bodies, like hair and skin, can readily regenerate, others, like the brain and the heart, cannot. This is why some scientists have done research with embryonic stem cells, which they claim can replace every single part of the body.
Embryonic stem cells in which you have to kill the embryo, so which is why it is a more controversial issue. So it has not yet been used in medicine from the embryonic point of view, but as an adult stem cells it can be used.
Aside from use in life-saving medical treatments, these tiny superheroes can also serve a different purpose. So far, the most common use for human stem cells is for the treatment of different types of cancers, such as leukemia, where bone marrow transplants are used. But there are also these synthetic stem cells, which are now used in cosmetic dermatology. Let's see how they work. For the first time in the Middle East, a new skin treatment is using synthetic stem cells. This serum contains peptides that mimic the human cell DNA structure.
It's a cell, but created in a laboratory. It's cloned to the neuron cell of human, which is considered to be most safest and stable when we are using it as in the cosmetic form.
So I wash my face and give it a go. First, the serum is applied, and then a small needling device creates thousands of microchannels in my skin to let the stem cells in.
It divides itself into the tissue of the skin and helps to build up the required tissue, for example, the fibroblast formation, which help in collagen building of the tissue.
These stem cells should work their magic over time, so to see the real results of this treatment, you'll simply have to keep tuning in. Laura Markova, Emirates News.
And staying with cosmetic treatment, today we wanted to know what your views are on plastic surgery. Are you for or against it? Here's what you told us.
I'm against plastic surgery. I just don't think it's good for women to do it. I think it's not natural, like, you know.
I don't see a problem with it. I could do with a bit on my stomach just to reduce this a bit. So a bit of a tuck there, but yeah, I don't see an issue with it.
I'm neither for nor against it, to be honest with you. I guess you can use plastic surgery in so many different ways, especially if there's something that needs to be repaired, then there's nothing wrong with it. I guess each to their own, really.
Quite sure, actually. I'm neither for nor against. I think it's up to the person, the individual themselves. But whether they're having too much done or not, I don't know.
It depends on the condition. If it's necessary, yeah, of course. I mean, plastic surgery might help some deformed patients get healthier, live more productive social lives. But I'm totally against it if it's on over-exaggerating some certain features.
Far. Why? Because everybody wants to look different, everybody wants to look better, and if it's something that you can do to look better, I will do it. Definitely, yeah.
Thank you very much. And from our online responses, at PIT UAE tweets, plastic surgery has advanced at a rapid rate. Unfortunately, some forms of surgery are used for luxurious purposes and not for a sound reason. Now, today is World Oceans Day, and in a bid to raise awareness about the fight to protect our seas, Atlantis Palm is calling on Dubai's residents to take their plastic rubbish to the hotel this Saturday. Now, with me in the studio to explain this all to us in a bit more detail is Steve Kaiser, the VP of Marine Science and Engineering at Atlantis. Steve, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, can you explain to me, what are you going to do with all of this rubbish?
Well, we're actually going to recycle. There's a local company called EcoSol, and they recycle plastic here, and we're actually going to turn it into homes for fishes. They do an extruded device, put some UV inhibitors in, and we're going to make houses for fishes that will be put down as artificial reefs.
Where are you going to put them down, and why do you think it's necessary to put these reefs there? I assume they're going into the sea.
Yep, they are. There's a protected area off of Jebel Ali that's under the auspices of Turkish, who actually helps manage our hotel. Their government agency here through environmental health and safety. We've made an agreement with them so we can put them there, and hopefully it'll enhance those waters.
Why do you need reefs, though?
You know, fish need homes just like we do. There's a lot of sand here, but there isn't a lot of rubble and habitat. And corals need something hard to grow on. They just can't grow on sand. So by putting these reefs in, we hope that it gets some corals and sponges and all the wonderful stuff, and make some habitat for our friendly friends.
So why plastic rubbish, and why is it so important to save our seas?
Well, you know, there's a huge problems with plastics going in our ocean. In fact, 80% of the pollution that's found in the ocean actually starts on land, doesn't start in the ocean. It's not boats and everything, it's us. It's pesticides, it's runoff from fertilizers, it's all this stuff, and plastics is a huge part of this. So we're just trying to do something a little different and take that plastic, recycle it into a form that's actually beneficial for the animals and not harmful for the animals.
So people should come down with plastic in a plastic bag.
In a plastic bag,
over.
we'll take your plastic and we'll actually exchange it for a free child ticket that's good to September with a paid adult to come in to enjoy the aquarium. And we have a whole host of activities on Saturday for the families.
Okay, well, Steve, thank you so much for coming in, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to go to another break, but coming up in sport, will Carlos Tevez survive the wrath of Manchester after he calls the city boring in an official interview? And elephants in India go on a 3-hour rampage, leaving 1 man dead. We'll bring you up to date right after this break. Hello again, time for sport now, and Graham is here. Graham, Jose Mourinho has been stepping out of the AC in Doha and is concerned about the World Cup.
Certainly right. He's in Qatar at the moment on a little visit. And yeah, like you say, I think he just went outside and caused him a bit of concern. We'll hear what he says in a second. First, though, with the heat building up outside, the indoor futsal President's Cup was decided last night. Al Wasl won the event for the second time after a convincing win at the Al Jazeera Indoor Hall. Playing the Capital Police team, perhaps the new club association with Diego Maradona spurred their indoor team on. A comfortable 5-2 win was capped by their final goal, but the players had to decide who should score it. This was the second running of the cup competition that Al Wasl also won in 2010. Real Madrid manager Jose Mourinho has spoken about the FIFA World Cup of 2022 in Qatar, whilst on a visit to the Aspire Sports Zone in Doha. Mourinho seems confident that the venues won't be a problem, but expressed some caution when it comes to the climate.
I think they have enough time for the way they are organized. They have enough time to present the world with a fantastic situation. I had a difficult feeling with the weather coming from Europe, with a completely different weather. But I think even on that, they have to realize that most of the people that will come from different environments, and they need to help the people to adapt to such a difficult weather.
To FIFA now, and the British Prime Minister David Cameron has weighed in on the condemnation of its practices. Speaking in the House of Commons, Cameron was asked about Sepp Blatter's unopposed re-election last week and took the opportunity to launch a scathing attack.
I've seen football governance at an international level, and I wasn't that impressed by what I saw. What I'd say is this. FIFA's reputation is now at an all-time low, and obviously the election with just one candidate was something of a farce, but it has to become more transparent and more accountable. They've got to prove that they are actually capable of doing the job that they're meant to. But ultimately, change has got to come from within football, and I'm sure that the FA will want to play a very major role in helping to bring that about.
Carlos Tevez, Manchester City's captain and goal machine, has risked the wrath of the whole city after complaining there was little to do in his adopted home. Tevez has been in the city for 4 years, playing for both Manchester clubs. But on an Argentinian talk show, he admitted he dislikes the area.
There's nothing to do in Manchester. There are only 2 restaurants. Everything is very small. It rains all the time and you can't go anywhere. You can buy a house in Marbella and take a vacation. I will not return to Manchester, not for vacation, not anything.
And there's more upheaval regarding this season's Bahrain Grand Prix now. After being reinstated on the race calendar by the FIA on Friday, the head of Formula One has now said it will not go ahead. Speaking to the BBC, Bernie Ecclestone said that since the teams have not agreed to the changes, it cannot happen. He said, hopefully there'll be peace and quiet and we can return in the future. But of course, it's not on. He added that the schedule cannot be rescheduled without the agreement of the participants. They are the facts. There you go, that's your sport.
Thank you. So Tevez has to go back?
Well, there's a doubt if he's going to play again next season, but if he does go back, could be an interesting home match.
He just thought that they wouldn't understand Spanish, or it wouldn't be translated.
Who knows?
Thank you very much. And now a story with some very graphic pictures that you may find disturbing. There was widespread panic in a town in southern India today as 2 wild elephants went on a rampage, killing 1 man and injuring 2 calves. The elephants came into the town from a nearby forest at about 6 in the morning. One barged into a college compound and roamed the grounds, while the other walked into a residential area. They each attacked a calf, and then one of the elephants attacked a man, crushing him against the ground and killing him. It's just horrific. There's been yet another fog warning issued, with the National Met Centre calling on motorists to be extremely careful whilst driving. Visibility in Jebel Ali is reportedly as low as 300 metres. Here now are tomorrow's forecast highs. And finally, here's another look at the headlines. Sheikh Mohammed receives the Secretary General of the GCC and discusses ways to boost stability in the region. The Vice President honours a number of young leaders at their graduation ceremony here in Dubai. And Sharjah's Executive Council demands an explanation and an end to fuel shortages at petrol stations in the Emirates. And that brings us to the end of Emirates News for tonight. A reminder that all of our bulletins are on our website, which is dmi.ae/Dubai1, so log on there to catch up. And if you ever want to get in touch with the team, our email address is emiratesnews@dubai1.ae. You can also find us on Facebook. Just do a search for Emirates News, or follow us on Twitter. We're at Emirates_news. From myself, Kimberly Leonard, and the rest of the team, have a lovely evening. Good night.